And Arcadia, hey there, good to see you. Give me 1 second. Let me just get started here and configure stuff. I hope you're fine and well. Give me 2 seconds. I just need to set up things. Can you hear me well? I guess you should be able to hear me well, right? Let me just see. I think microphone might be too loud. No, it's fine. So let me know if everything is clear. All right, cool. Marulo, my friend, hey, good day. How's life? Thank you for coming. Let me just start the stream slowly. Just going to a couple of things here. So sound should be fine. We should be good, right? Yes, I hope so. Cool. Start that. Very good. Looks good, at least. Okay, let me maybe just configure this. All right, is it fine? Yeah, should be fine. Yeah, all good there. Great. All right, so how are you guys? How is your weekend? What are you doing? Etc. Anything new in your lives? Let's kind of get back here. So we've started this. Let's take a look at things. Let's start the stream with checking our monitoring and errors. Let's see if there's any things happening that we should be. The DP, hey, thank you very much for coming and thank you for saying something. Give me 1 second. I think I might be mistyping my password. Yeah, I am probably. All right. So let's take a look at the issues. Forbidden, you do not have access. Please authenticate. Yeah, this is kind of common thing. Expected. User already completed profile. Okay, interesting. Okay, so sitemap now works. Very good. That should in theory be fixed. Let's maybe take a look only at the API errors. The stream is about building this platform. So it's actually, let me go ahead and pin that URL. I have to kind of keep remembering that. But it's about everything. Backend, front-end, infrastructure, you name it. So this text classifier was failing and I fixed that so these embeddings weren't, I optimized the Docker file. Okay, well that is fine. Let's actually open our cursor and let's kind of start working. I did a massive refactor of certain types offline off stream, so that's gonna yield some very good results over time, but we'll need to merge that, and it's a very high risk change, so we'll see about that as well. So yes, we'll see. In this stream we'll do a couple of things, and let's see where the stream takes us and how long I'm gonna stream. it really boils down to several other factors. Okay, so if we actually go ahead and look at a lot of pending changes, let's actually do something like this. Improve API types. So what we're actually going to do, this is I mean, if you go and sign up, I think it's very self-explanatory. I mean, it's called Programmer Network, right? So I would say that if you hear that Programmer Network thing, I think it's already very much self-explanatory what it is, right? You can also just click on the link. I think it takes 2 seconds and you can see what is it about. Yeah, but it's a social network for programmers, pretty much. That, and then yeah, the features that we're building and features that are built are typical features. There's nothing necessarily unique about them. It's just a platform where you can share your thoughts, try to write a course or two, write an article, a blog, etc., etc. Right? So these types of things. So there is nothing mind-blowing about it per se, right? It's just a community, you could say. Let's update our agents MD to convey that we have now refactored our types. If you look at model files, give me just 1 second. You will notice that both we have an interface and a sequelize model at the same level. Then we have models file where we centralized all the. Let me just update this agents MD models, then AJV schemas inside schema files are primarily used for validation, and we do not want in any way, shape, or form to mix them with our models. So let's write these things as rules, update the file. Have you ever done game dev as a hobby, like writing your own 2D engine? Well, I don't think that writing your own 2D engine has anything to do with game development. I think that is a massive misconception with people who... You have people who want to build games and you have people who want to write tools, right? I think writing your own game engine is a massive waste of time, right? I mean, in the context... Well, okay, let me rephrase. How massive waste of time is it depends what your goal is, right? Flanick, Mauser, good day, my friends. So I don't think that building a 2D engine has anything to do with game development at all. I think that is a huge misconception. I've heard, when I was very young, I had friends who were like, I mean, if you have a goal in mind, right, like if you can answer why, then absolutely, right? So I would say, So I mean, I'm always for whatever yields certain results to an individual. So for example, if you say I want to build a game engine and a physics engine and I want to deal with velocity and gravity and all of these things, absolutely. As long as you can answer to yourself why, right? If you want to do this and you think that, okay, if I build my own engine, I'm going to become a better game developer. If that is actually true, I don't think that is true at all. But let's assume that it is true, then you can say, yeah, take that path because, you know, if you build a physics engine, that's gonna yield results long term on some other end. You get what I mean? But if you're gonna build that thing and not know what is the tangible value that thing produces, then you can probably put your time a little bit more intelligently and ask yourself, actually, what should I learn? What should I learn that that gives the value to my career and my life, right? Why do we have sidebar to the right? Because sidebar to the right always was more logical than to the left. Actually, 20-30 years ago, most of the editors had the sidebar on the right because you're not focusing on the sidebar when you're writing code, you're focusing on the code, right? So sidebar should have never been in the left at the first place, always at the right. Because if I do this, my code doesn't jump. if I move this sidebar to the left and I open and close this, my whole code is shifted for that width of that sidebar. So if I move now this to the left and hide it and show it, because why the hell would I look at the sidebar the whole time? Then my whole code shifts with it. This way my code stays static while sidebar is open, right? So it never made sense for it to be in the left at the first place. It's completely illogical. And hopefully you're not looking for files anyway. Hopefully you are opening files by some sort of reference or whatever, right? Okay, let me just update this file because I did a massive refactor of certain types. So I'm just gonna ask AI to go through the stuff that I've done, and yeah. Okay, let's see what it rewrote. Yeah, that's it. Very good. Very good. Just a markdown file for AI. Very nice. Centralized models. Yes, yes, yes. Sure. Correct. I agreed. Okay, it kind of literally took the whole gist of it. Okay, very good. So that's number one. Very good. Thank you, AI. You're amazing. It does matter because I'm not closing this thing ever. So it's a massive difference. I'm not closing this composer ever. It's always open. So my code is still in focus, right? I'm not doing this with the right. And in fact, you can say, I think the future of programming is going to be more in this agents editor than in the editor itself. Because typically now, you would open the agents view and then literally operate almost in a fully contextual, like spec-defined way. No, absolutely. I'm chats for sure, man. Like, again, I try to give pragmatic answers to anything that people ask, right? And, you know, I'm 37 years old. I have 2 kids and a wife. So when I invest my time into something, I have to almost always have a reason behind why am I doing it and what results does it yield, right? So like whenever I ask myself the question, why am I doing this or why am I learning that, it has to have tangible outcome, right? I cannot just do random things anymore in my life just because I want them, right? I mean, sure, maybe I can do one thing of that a day for like an hour, but everything else has to have some strategic impact on my life, right? So if I say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna build a 2D engine today, or gonna spend next 6 months building a 2D physics engine, well, I have to have a concrete response why, right? Otherwise, it's would you? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have kids, man, time, like when you don't have kids, you don't appreciate time at all. You actually waste so much. Ironically, when you get kids, you try to optimize every single moment of your life for time, right? So 100% it does. You're absolutely right. 100% it does. So today, you know, I can't just, oh, let me spend 6 months building a physics engine because it's fun, right? I mean, yeah, you still do fun things, of course. There are many fun things that are both fun and useful as well. Or to say, I'm not saying that you building your 2D engine is completely useless, but you try again to do things which are more tangible, more measurable, more like, for example, you know, learning, let's say, becoming better today at queries, Postgres, and let's say AI stuff and machine learning is probably more tangible asset in your career than building a game engine, right? So there's some of these very concrete examples where I can literally give people tips where literally they can put time and increase their chances in their careers. This is no brainer. Learn Postgres well or MySQL, amazing skill to have. Learn to build APIs, good skill to have. Learn to build user interfaces, good skill to have, right? Learn some infrastructure, AWS, Google Cloud, or infrastructure in general, good skill to have, right? So these are very, very much skills that you can go and sell yourself with. If you go somewhere and say, I built my own game engine, yeah, I don't know where you can sell that. I don't know where you can actually, you know, monetize that. That's the problem. Because, I mean, there's some players in that land that are so strong, you know, like Unreal Engine and bunch of these things that it's very, very hard to compete against that, right? Very hard. So, you know, when you get a bit more senior and older and when you start working in leadership and stuff, you no longer necessarily seek for things which are just fun. You seek for things that bring value more. I'll just commit this, so... Yeah, I mean, and that is fair enough. I respect you for that, man. I love leadership. I love helping people. That's my main motivation, going to work, to be very honest with you. And it's even more important as what you did, realizing if that's not what you're... Because if you don't like that job as well, you will be very bad at it, right? Because leading people is very hard, and making people happy is an art. And on top of that, if you don't like doing that, then it's even exponentially more worse, right? So it's good that you've done that, because yeah, you don't want to be doing it and also not liking it. Very, very hard. That's why engineering management jobs are more paid, because in order to do them properly, you really need to get good at them. And getting good at that is way harder than getting good at programming, because programming is a well-scoped, defined, confined, encapsulated, inboxed thing that you learn the rules and you learn the system, and for the most part is deterministic in many cases. But there's nothing deterministic about people. People are random. People are people, right? And hello, Fragile Human. Yeah, I think this guy just writes this every time and leaves. I think it's probably a bot. Let's run pimp.lit and fix all the errors. Also, let's figure out why these specific linter errors are not shown in my cursor editor. It seems, but I mean, why are you writing that? What does it mean, hello, fragile human being? That's a fucking stupid thing to say, bro. What does that mean? I mean, if you say something stupid once and then somebody tells you that it's stupid, you are either stupid because you're doing it again, or you're just an asshole. There's no other explanation there. Last time you wrote that, my response was the same, and then you're doing it again. So stop doing it. It makes no sense. It's not fun. Nobody finds it fun. So it's just basic social skills. If somebody tells you, hey, what you're doing is not fun, then you should just stop doing it. It's that simple. I don't think anyone will find it cute. It just sounds very weird. I don't mean that it's something rude. It's just a silly thing to say. What does it mean, fragile human being? Yeah, I mean, that is just a stupid fucking thing to say, man. Just say hi, be a normal person. Say, hi, Alex, what's up, man? It's so simple, right? I mean, it's silly that we have to discuss this as adults, you know. One friend in my life, actually, I did few things that you just did to others, right? And one of my friends said to me that literally changed my perception. He said, Alex, you know what, man? If you have nothing nice to say to me, just say nothing. And he was right. So, but anyway. So what I'm working on is, so basically what I did last night, and it took me many hours, And I'm very happy with this, but it's a huge change. And by the way, Speaks, hi there. Sorry for if I was a little bit negative, but it's better that I tell you than not to tell you. So what I did basically, I consolidated all the types in the API, and I'm gonna explain soon. Let me just fix some of the things, and then I'll explain what we're gonna do. We cannot add type module to package JSON because it will break some other things, etc. Example, our SQLize migration process. Let me just plan some of the things that I want, and then we're gonna chat. But some awesome changes I've done. I've centralized the models. So basically, when I started building this project, I've used SQLize.js ORM. The ORM itself wasn't built TypeScript first, so honestly it still sucks kind of at that a bit. So I was thinking a lot about it the last couple of days when I had the time, and I went ahead and kind of just rewrote the way that I organize types in the backend and in our API. And the reason why I've done that is because I created a little bit more separation of concerns there, which types are used where. Because the thing is, when you use Fastify, which this backend is written in, Fastify has its own schemas, right? So for those of you who've ever worked with Fastify, or to be honest with you, many existing router libraries out there or API frameworks libraries do, you can see that our entire validation layer for our API is done using JSON schemas, or in this context, another JSON validator schema, right? But to add a little bit more complexity to that, out of each one of these schemas, we use this thing called typebox to infer TypeScript interfaces out of the JSON schema. So you can see here, this is my iExperienced body, which is basically this type defines the body on the request of a certain endpoint. So you can see kind of there's a correlation between a schema, then we infer TypeScript interfaces out of the schema. So you have basically two things. One is validating, and then one needs the types on the controller level, service level, whatever. And then, of course, to make that even more complicated, then we have models, right? Because we're using an ORM. When you use an ORM, you have to define these models. So like tables, you have to model your tables through objects, basically, right? And that's also a type. So what I basically did now, I create an interface manually for every different model that I have. So typically, if the SQLize was more in TypeScript modern, it would do this for you, but it doesn't. So for example, you can see this is our user table, and then for that table we also have an interface that we have to manually maintain. Now, to our defense, because AI today is so amazing, and because of this agentsmd file that I wrote for it, now every single time, for example, you could say, well, Alex, isn't there a danger that if you extend this table with a different field, you also have to manually extend the interface for that? Yes, that is true, but we have solved that by I have solved that by localizing the interface itself next to the model, and also I made sure that in the agentsmd file, there is yeah, this is probably bots. Yeah. What the fuck is that? Yeah, that's bots. Shit. Anyway, let's wait for this spam to stop, and then we'll continue. But anyway, I'm gonna continue coding until until that thing stops. Yeah, I have no idea what any of that means, but I have no idea. Probably bots. Anyway, we're gonna discuss more of that soon. Screw that. I mean, to be honest, I mean, yeah, this platform is I mean, I can't even imagine how are then other platforms when this doesn't have anything. But yeah, I mean, it seems like there's no rate limiting of any kind, right? Or anything like that. So, Kick is better than Twitch. Okay, good to know. I should maybe start streaming there as well. I have no idea. But either way, yeah. You know, you just ignore it for a second, and then that's fine, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is, my friends. What can we do? Let me just fix some tooling and then we what the fuck is it doing now, man? Alex, I got a problem in my team. There's a guy who is leader, but he blocks anything what is new or anything that needs to be changed in the project. For example, we need to do migration from progressive web app to server side, and he gives an opinion about everything, but we can't get straight. I mean, the thing is, like, okay, so Speaks, thank you for sharing. Very interesting problem. As somebody who works in tech leadership, I like those problems. I think I like to discuss them. But again, the way that you composed it doesn't kind of convince me that what you're suggesting is correct, right? So you would need to, when you're a leader, you have a couple of things that you focus on. First, you focus on the outcomes and the value for the company, right? So so if you work in any sort of leadership, including technical leadership, your job is to focus on the outcomes. It can be individual outcomes. It can be team outcomes, but fundamentally it's all about value and outcomes. If you go to your manager or to each other, you have to convey value-wise why you want to do X over Y, right? Or Y over X. So in simple words, it's impossible for me to give you a meaningful answer or something that makes sense, because I mean that your manager might be 100% correct or 100% wrong. That depends on what the value of that is, right? And you know, it's not simple, right? It's not simple. So you would need to kind of elaborate a little bit more, because yeah, he might be 100% right. You cannot just request to do something new, because the only thing that I could get out of your message is that you said blocks anything what is new, right? Just something being new doesn't mean anything, right? New things can be also bad, and most of the time they are, right? So fundamentally, yeah, that is, if you can elaborate a little bit more what it is that he blocks and what the suggestion that you gave fixes, then we can maybe, yeah, I can give you something more tangible, if you may, right? Because right now it's very unclear. He says open API spec plus client generated over that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it seems that you're having a little bit of different issues when you say what is better and worse, right? I typically refuse. Look, let me tell you how I operate, Sadiq. So I typically don't use words in engineering such as better or worse. These words, to me personally, have no meaning, right? Because they don't define absolutely anything. I don't know what better is. Actually, that literally word cannot be used in engineering at all, because better is a very vague statement. And that's why us programmers, we work with very deterministic utilities, because we can exactly define what it is that we think. And that's why English as language is not suitable for programming, because in English, like in native language like this, you can't really, so when you say better, that is very, very meaningless, right? You have to define what does better mean, right? or worse, whatever. So that is not an argument. You should also ban that word from your vocabulary when you discuss technical things, because I don't know what you mean better, right? But that is a wrong, man. You're talking about things that you should be talking about the value, not technicalities. I, as a leader, don't care about these technicalities, man. I don't care which protocol you're using. I care about the value. So what value is the company going to get by you switching from one or the other? So this would be my question to you as a team, right? Like, oh, I want to use this protocol. I don't care what protocol you want to use, man. I want to know what exactly is going to be better, right? So what is your company going to gain by you switching to TRPC? That's my question. Rebecca, hey friend, good to see you. So I think you're focusing on fundamentally wrong. Yeah, I mean, I'm not so sure about that, right? You would have to elaborate that a bit more. That is also very vague. I would also, I think that is very, very relative. I don't think that's fully true, no. So look, it doesn't matter, Speaks, listen, it doesn't matter what I think. I think it's clear to me that you guys have to have a concrete technical document, a proposal, where you exactly define what value of your suggestions is. And that's, to me, it's as simple as that, right? So you have to be able to, if you want to affect change, you need to be articulated, and it's always, so if person X is the one that suggests something, it's the responsibility of the person X to sell that to others. And to me, it's clear that you didn't sell it to your leader, which means that he doesn't actually, it's not clear to him what the value of something is, right? Because also when you say development time, that is a very vague statement, right? You're not going to change the entire API or protocol on a vague statement such as we will get better development speed. Faster how much? 5%, 10%, 300%, right? So no leader can make decisions like that. It's less complexity. What complexity? Define complexity, right? So these are incredibly vague statements, right? Less complexity, where? What complexity? What is the current complexity, right? So this is how you make decisions, not like, oh, we think this is going to be less complex. Less complex what? What is currently complex, right? How do you measure these things? You cannot solve things that you didn't measure at the first place, right? But man, like you as a team and as a leader, ideally want to make as less possible changes as you can. The perfect programming team in ideal world would be the team that writes no code. So yes, absolutely, as a leader, you should be upfront blocking anything unless there's a good reasoning why. So I 100% agree with your tech lead. Like you, again, if you propose something, you have to sell the idea. You have to say, why is it valuable? What does it solve? How much does it solve it? You say it's going to improve development. How much? What is it going to improve? What is the current complexity? Etc. etc. These are like, I mean, the way that I say a little bit about maybe sounds a little bit too aggressive. It's not, but this is common sense. This is the very basic, and if you're a senior developer, this shouldn't be something that somebody has to tell you. Like, hey, I want to affect change. Okay, it's my responsibility to sell it to other stakeholders. And that's where it ends. I don't know, man. I mean, there's always two sides of the story, right? So, of course, I cannot sit here and shit on a person that I don't know. But, you know, yeah, I can't. I want to, but I have to you know, I cannot say ill of things of people that I don't know, right? So this seems to be a more complicated issue, right? But I can tell you that a fundamental basic principle that every single human being should apply is ask the question why, how much value does it bring, and is this value like valuable, right? Not every I know that sounds stupid, but just because something is valuable doesn't mean it's sufficiently valuable to be done, right? Because technical changes require a lot of money, a lot of people, and you need to calculate everything through that. Hey, we have 5 developers, their hourly rate is this, they work 8 hours a day. If they will spend 3 months migrating some crap to some protocol, and then they can't explain how much value our customers are gonna have, then we're not gonna spend €500,000 because somebody thinks this might be better. This is, again, common sense. Imagine you have your own company, you pay salaries, you have a limited amount of money, you have to survive in a highly oversaturated market. You're not going to just tell your developers, yeah, man, just do this because it has better development experience. What experience? How much better? And I can tell you that there aren't more notorious, more terrible people to make estimates than software engineers on this earth, right? So if you think that migration is going to take a month, it's going to take 4 months. If you think that it's going to improve your experience by 50%, it's going to improve it by 5%, right? So there's us programmers are the most egoistic human beings on earth when it comes to our profession. If only I rewrote this, it would be amazing. Look at this fool. He wrote this crappy code. I would never write crappy code, right? I mean, this type of mentality is why nobody takes software engineering estimates for granted anymore, and why people mostly laugh at that, right? So every time you make an assumption, it's going to take 1 day, make it 5 days. And trust me, in most cases, it's going to be fine. I'm going to be correct. I mean, these things for me are simple, and I do work in tech leadership, so I expect this from myself, and I expect this from my team as well. So you want a change, you want to come up with technology, fuck yeah, more power to you, let's do it. But you have to, we can't be 11 years old, right? We can't come and say, let's do this because this is going to be better. That is not a reasonable way to do things, right? Not a reasonable way to do things, because yeah. What unknown, man? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Unknown? What unknown, bro? Where is unknown? Why is it unknown, man? This makes absolutely no fucking sense, bro. What? Wait, did I not import this? Yeah, so iMeetup, yeah? So why? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? No, ID is a number. What? So where is it inferring this type? So why is it inferring unknown from somewhere? It makes absolutely no sense. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it is that, right? So weird. Ah, yeah, of course. So this kind of has to be a generic in a way, right? So that's what we should do. Yes, very good observation. Yes. So basically, I have this image service I wrote long ago that basically, because we done it's kind of a generic service, right? So we kind of have to, yeah, we have to either do a generic here or let's see, or change the type ourselves, right? So yeah, this is unknown here. Yeah, exactly. So this needs to be, we need to update this one. So let's see what it is that we do here. Yeah, this is gonna throw an exception if it farts out. Then we get the parts, we parse them. Exactly. Exactly, that's it, yeah. So this returns the form date. I mean, actually, okay, so I think, yeah, I mean, we could technically do this a little bit better, right? Because what we really, okay, I see. Because I believe, okay, I see. So, I mean, technically, right? Okay, so the issue here, right, is that if we go to the production, right? So if we go to production, I'll actually show you. Actually, it's not an issue, but it's just a little weird quirk, if you may, right? So when you actually, if we go to the dashboard, right? If you fundamentally, if you want to organize a new event, right? You can kind of fill in the form data, but you can then also select an image at the same time. So that's why this specific endpoint doesn't get JSON or anything like that from the UI. It gets the multi-part form data, right? So that's why here we have to parse the multi-part form to get the fields back, right? So you could say that technically, if this wasn't the case, we would just already use here in the request.body, we would use, right, so that is, okay, that is fine, because if it's not multi-part, blah, 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 sure, we get the fields. So we would somehow need to type this out. So I mean, of course, this is literally any, but we want to prevent the use of any, right? So we would either have to write this somehow. Okay, so let's discuss it with the AI. How do we make this a generic instead of using unknown for the fields, as then this breaks the types at the consumer level? Because the service itself takes a full reference to the request object, which is a bit weird, right? Typically, right? Yeah. But yeah, that is the beauty of generics, right? It's fine. It makes sense. It's just the unknown here, it kind of sucks. But let's see. Yeah, fields of T, sure. Yeah, exactly. My company is paying for my cursor, so it's a business one. It's a business one. right? So if we do this now, I mean, we technically shouldn't need to do this, but okay. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that was basically it, right? That was basically it. We had to make this one generic, so it takes the T type, right? And then responds with that as well, with some exception of some. And then there's a manual cast here, which sucks ass though, but actually it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter. At least it conveys the idea of what it actually does. Yeah. I'm not so sure about this. We could do this better. No, of course we will not. We're just solving the problem now. We're not going to be solving the problem and be dealing with details, right? Where these interfaces are right now is completely meaningless until we actually solve the problem, right? So we are not organizing things and solving the problem at the same time, right? So that has no significance to our problem right now. So it kind of is solved. Okay, let's take a look at that. So let's actually see what it is that we expect. So the code is one thing, but I don't think that's what we really expect. So if we take a look at the schema here, right? Yeah, so this is our create meetup schema, and there isn't much in it, right? There's no body because we only have the response schema here. But we can actually see that they're not optional, right? So you could kind of say that if we are to trust our schema here, then the type itself is wrong, right? So if I look at my response schema, I'm not saying that, hey, status will maybe be returned. No, we're saying status will always be returned. So technically, so maybe we can ensure this. And if I actually go back here, you can actually see that tags are mandatory. So tags are for sure not optional. And also tags are basically, I don't know why is it a string here that feels weird. But we can see that, or actually, can we see that somewhere? Tags, do we even have them here? Oh, no, actually no. So, but tags are probably our standard types of tags, right? So let's see, tags, field tags. So it is a string in this context, and then we kind of parse it back to JSON, right? So it's fine. And I would say we could enforce some status always, because I think when we also create a meetup, we, yeah, as you can see here, status is, okay. I see form data status or draft. Okay, so actually status technically could be true as well. Okay, so if there's field tags, parse them from string to JSON, otherwise it's empty. And then that is kind of fine, right? So that's okay. Can we just wrap this in a ternary operator? Let's see. And this rule is so absolutely annoying. So let's maybe enforce this on the prettier level, not on the actual level of Exactly. So let's screw that, I would say. So we can try enforcing the double quotes on the linting side, on the tooling side, but yeah, it's just a little bit too much. I think it's a little bit too much, yeah. Okay, so we're kind of good now. So this was a massive refactor, if you may. Let's see. Okay, great. Let's kind of push this to a different repo, to a different branch, sorry. Alrighty. $13,000 changes. That's brave. That's brave. Yeah, so as you can see, I consolidated a lot of types, a lot of types. So let's just say incredibly risky thing to say, but I think actually not logic hasn't really changed. We just added some extra checks here. Let me just get some coffee one second. Okay. Let's create error utils here. Yeah. Sure. Okay. I just saw this repetitive pattern, and it's a perfect candidate for generalizing it, right? So we don't write these same ugly ternary operators all around the code base. It makes no sense. So let's just actually do it like this. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, why are we rethrowing here though? Mr. Situation, hey buddy, good to see you. Thank you for coming, man. How's life? just okay. Great. Let's push these things as well, and then I'll keep on kind of going and reviewing my own stuff, because it's an absolutely massive type consolidation type of thing. Valmedai, very good, man. I took my son, my older son, this morning to judo here in Amma in Copenhagen. So we went at 10:30, came back literally 30 minutes before this stream. And yeah, gonna spend a bit of time with you guys, and then yeah, gonna go and spend time with my wife and kids, and yeah, I don't know what else. Maybe in the evening code on this platform a bit, try to fix some things up. We'll see. Or maybe I might even end up streaming again, who knows, depending on where the time takes me. What about you guys? How is life serving you? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna skim through this thing very fast. Give me 5 seconds. Give me 5 seconds. Okay. Nice. That consolidated there. As you can see, we've included these types. Reuse these references to the model's object. Has many. So I'm just kind of, what I'm seeking for is like, hey, have I introduced any regressions? So I'm just kind of now like, have we actually changed any logic, or is it just types? And I would say for the most part, emphasis on most is the types. We've included some of the extra stuff here. Trying to figure out why one of my client websites are running 10 seconds slow. Ah, shit. Yeah, that is a massive degradation. So there's, yeah, something went wrong, you could say, big time. Let me just like, while I'm at this, I hate manual casting here. So why does it do that? What unknown, dude? What are you talking about? What unknown? Oh, I see. Crap. Okay. So this would kind of have to be a generic as well. Okay. I mean, okay, look, I could live with this. But I think the system itself would be way better, and I would have, I'm a perfectionist, unfortunately, so this metadata here. Okay, let's talk a bit to the AI. Can we do our best to remove all instances of unknown type from our entire notification system? Maybe turn the metadata into a generic, and then try to type accurately as many of the methods as possible. Okay. We already know what the metadata looks like, so I see no reason why we can't do this in a minute. Okay, let me now just plan this. Career advice on a dev working at a government authority, spending most days coding in a CMS with colleagues who aren't passionate about web development and wanting to shift towards building real products and web apps. Reptile, yeah, absolutely, man. I think number one, before anything, right, is you have to ask yourself, why do you care if other... So let's start from the bad and then move to the good. So number one, I personally try to focus on myself and my own growth. I'm only concerned about my colleagues not being incentivized if that fundamentally affects my own experience of things, right? So as always, I say focus on, of course, yourself. That is the most core basic advice that I have for everyone in their lives. The most important advice, the most crucial life-defining advice is focus on yourself, compare yourself to how you were a day before, focus on things that you can affect, not the things that you can't, and don't complain without action. Or don't complain without proposing solutions and also proposing yourself to be a solution. So these are my basic values. Now, if we move away from that, I think it's fair what you said, nothing strange there. You're working in government. Governments are known everywhere around the world, in Denmark, in America, in anywhere else. Working in a public sector is always, very limiting. There's a lot of process, there's a lot of ambiguity, there's a lot of crap, and that part is fine. Yeah, the simplest answer I can give to you is, I start applying to startups and that's it, right? So there's, a public sector has its own benefits as well, and that is for people who actually no longer want to work, they just want to do the same crap for the rest of their lives. You can typically work in a government sector, right? So I don't know, please ask more. I'm very happy to give you my advice, but I would say you definitely don't want to work in consulting. Consulting is even worse than government, right? So consultancy is also something that can very much damage your career, right? I would personally never hire a consultant, because these types of developers, they can be amazing, they can be very skilled, but they have very different way of work. They're not used to certain things that you have to get used to in a startup, right? They're used to well-defined specifications, shorter projects and stuff like that. So I don't think that consultancy is any way of solution there. Chase Ground, good day, my friend. How are you? But anyway, do whatever you think. I think sometimes in life, when you lack experience, the only thing you have to do is start changing things around, and you never know. So you have to change a couple of things every day, every now and then, in order to kind of get a feeling of, what good is, what bad is, and stuff like that, right? So I would say, the first step is always understanding that you don't like something and you're already halfway there. So you already, came to a conclusion that, hey, this is not what I want or whatever. So that's already a great self-reflection there, right? So the first step always is to ask yourself, hey, am I growing where I am? Am I learning something? Am I happy? Is it because of me? Is it because something or someone else? And then the next thing is something actionable. Okay, so based on these things that I just discussed with myself, is this and that true, blah, 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 right? Yeah, well, I disagree with that, man. Leading has nothing to do with experience. You can have 20 years experience as in a programming and be the most terrible idiot leader on earth. Leadership has very little to do with, let's say, hard skills, and everything to do with, do you want to do that work? Do you enjoy it? Is that something that fulfills you? Do people trust you? So leadership is a very hard type of work, and in very rare occasions it can be strictly compared to your years of experience, because many the tragedy of at least software engineering and management in software engineering is that typically programmers who are promoted to managers have no formal training or any training at all, and many of them don't actually even want to be managers, right? So there's nothing worse than that combination. Somebody promotes you to be a manager simply because you know how to write code, right? So don't say that, man. Don't you know, don't decrease your own value like that. You don't have to be a genius to be a manager. You have to have empathy and you want to, right? Oh, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. Good to hear. That's great to hear, dude. Absolutely great to hear. But yeah, you know, just what can I say? What can I say? You know, that's why life is awesome. It's very dynamic. It changes all the time, and you know, and there's always a constant opportunity to learn new things, to grow, to what the fuck happened here, bro? Huh, interesting. I'm just gonna do a sanity check, just randomly click around things, because I made so many changes. I mean, actually, no, not logical changes, mostly types, but then there were some extra things. This is very good, very, very good. Let's just review it, of course. So now we have a proper type, very good. Just enhancing some of these things. If article ID and metadata and type of, yeah, so there's a bit more safeguards, a bit more like resilience there, if you may, because we're safe. Comment ID and metadata, blah blah blah, sure, and these things are true, blah blah blah. Very nice. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's actually a lot better. Gives you a bit more sanity there. So let's also commit this as well. And lastly, before we start building something else, working on something else, what I'm gonna do with AI is I'm gonna do something similar we have for the front end. So I'm gonna tell it, hey, let's improve our pre-commit hook in the API project. Let's get inspired by Husky from our UI project and do what makes sense for our API. What's the name of the artist? This is just some so by the way, I'm also a musician, but I'm a metalhead and instrumental musician, so this is not typically the music I listen to, but it's just something that I can play in the stream without needing to worry about my video being blocked or whatever. But this is just some random stuff I found on YouTube. It's called Peak Focus for Complex Tasks. So Peak Focus for Complex Tasks YouTube. And then I just download them on my computer. So it's AI generated music basically. It's AI generated music, which means it has no. So this is the YouTube channel. I don't know which one we are listening now. I'll just share it there. Of course, man. Thank you for asking. Okay, great. Let's do this. Nice. And then we're gonna also have to, yeah, I just feel like kind of doing this once and for all. I wanted to. Now I've almost unified all the projects. So we also gonna do is we're gonna also, and let's just say, and similarly to the front end's GitHub Actions workflow, let's also make sure that we run the proper tooling in our before we actually start with deploying the image, etc. Actually, maybe I've done that already, have I? Okay, let's kind of run those. So this in theory should now work, right? So let's go here. Let's see if the commit hook works. Okay, nice, it does. No valid tests found. What? Unsupported engine, wanted node, 20 current node. Yeah, we should probably fix that warning as well, but let's see, checking formatting. Okay, so that all passed. Nice. Okay, good. Shouldn't Sonar or any other... No, not really. No. And even if they did, it has very little to do with that, right? I mean, we need to do these checks on the CI level as well. Of course, we're not going to run Husky on the in our CI. This is for local thing, but and some of them will be found, some not. But it's just I would say that, yeah. Give me 2 seconds. Just to, I'm with you in a moment, just to kind of not lose a thought here. I guess PM in this context is failing. Let's see. Pre-commit failed. Okay, what? Oh, okay. Actually, it failed. What? So actually, the console logs, right? We probably don't want to do here because we do. I mean, yeah, like. All right, actually, I'm a bit torn now between. Yeah, okay. So what I'll probably actually do for this project, I will make an exception and we'll kind of get rid of this rule because we actually need logs. We need our build. Pino logger sometimes, sure, but we also need the logs sometimes, especially when we release new features and stuff. Just so I don't need to pass the actual instance of a logger in every single place. Yeah, I kind of made this a little bit aggressive, right? So this actually is useless indeed. This was actually useful, okay? So this one actually is good that I left it here long ago, it seems. So to do remove this is more essentially maintenance forget to export type mutator. Okay. So let's try to see if that has been fixed. So let's try to... Wings, thank you very much, man, for coming. I appreciate it very much. What can I say? Have a good time with your brother, and yeah, let's see each other another time, man. Let's see if that actually works or not. I have no idea. Yeah, so technically that should have fixed that thing. So actually, you see, it's good that we left that thing there. So yeah, that's good. Okay, beautiful. Let's commit that as well. So let's commit that as well. I think there were a couple of others as well, so it's fine. We'll fix them now or remove them. What did I write this here? Let's see what I actually... So what do we use? We use the max keyword and seek. Find the maximum value of a field. So we find the maximum and then we increment it by 1, right? So, but why is this then not returning a number? Why is it returning a known? Yeah, exactly. But why? Why? That makes kind of no sense, right? Does it? I mean, yeah, let's see. Or unknown. Data type or unknown. Okay, so that's just a shitty type there, right? Fine. Okay. And is it true that it's null, data type or unknown? Okay, well, I mean, sure. Okay. So yeah, if it returns it, same, man, they're equally useless. Like, equally useless. 100% agreed with you. 100%. What did I mean? I probably thought here, did I want, like, yeah, I guess what I meant when I wrote this to do is, like, can I do this without doing a left join or whatever? I think so as well, right? So I suppose we'll see when we get back to improve this feature better. So that is fine. Implement email sending in development. No, I don't need that. Rewrite this and make it nicer. Okay. What? What the fuck is... What? What is that? Makes absolutely no sense, bro. What are you doing? Wow, okay. Okay. That makes absolutely no sense. Now it does, alright. Actually, let's, while we're at this stage... Polyglot, thank you very much, buddy, for your... do you know anything about the open graph scraper that we are using and how to ensure that we don't do what's written in the comments? So basically, I remember when I implemented the scraper, one of the viewers said, hey Alex, make sure that you don't download stuff such as, you know, MP3s and stuff, and he was absolutely right, executables and stuff. So let's see if there is a way here to, probably if we go into this actual utility and we take a look at the options, we have a blacklist, custom meta tags. Yeah, so there is a way to your validation settings, right? So let's actually see that. Let me search for actual open graph. Yeah, and this is actually using the MCP, I believe. So if we take a look at this, if we take a look at this, I think it's using context 7 now. Yeah, I think it's using context 7. As you can see, then that is very awesome. So it basically runs, so it gives the package ID. Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. So something like this. Timeout, follow redirect true. Ooh, interesting. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's correct. So MCP. No, actually, let me distill MCP for you. There is nothing really to understand about MCP. I'll try to, because I'll try to do it for you in a second, right? So what is an MCP, right? Well, let's just distill it very quickly. So, well, what does the MCP first stands for? It stands for Model Context Protocol, right? So that's number one, just a fancy acronym and fancy name. But what it really is this. You have some services here to the right. You have your own services. Let's say you have your Postgres, Neo4j, MongoDB, APIs, whatever it is, right? And then there's an AI agent, right? There's a AI agent. Let's actually not write it as a human. There's an AI agent or an LLM model or whatever. And then there's you, right? And then there's you, right? Or developer or a user. So you want this guy to talk to your services, to these guys here, right? But what you don't want is just say, hey LLM, just connect to my database and do whatever you want. That sucks, right? You have to limit the access to right from this text matching algorithm into this. So then in between there you add an MCP and you say, well, this MCP is almost like my other little API where I define tools that AI can use. So instead of you now telling, your agent, well, agent, just use p-SQL tool and do whatever you want to my database, you expose on this layer here essentially some tools that AI agent can call. And actually you can see these tools. You can see, for example, here, if we scroll a little bit up, you see that the agent in this context ran a tool called resolve library ID. And actually every time you use some MCP, you can actually see which tools it has. So let me show you. So if we go to MCP here and I go to Postgres over here, you can actually see if I expand this, these are the tools that this Docker image for this MCP exposes. So list schemas, list objects, blah, blah, blah. If I go into edit mode here, you will actually notice here that, where is it? Context SQL, equation thinking. Yeah, I actually don't have it here. I thought that I had it. But either way, you can do some extra configuration. But that's really what MCP is. It's a layer between you, your agent, and your services. and you want to limit, so it adds security layer and blah blah blah. So you because you're not insane, you're not gonna say, hey AI, just do whatever you want with my API. No, you want to limit, and you also want to explain what these tools do to the AI, so AI knows when I call this function, this is what it does, right? So this is kind of what it is. I hope that that clarifies it a bit. Of course, man. Nothing. It's just nothing crazy. No, that's fine. That key is not used for anything. Don't worry. That key is not used for anything. So I don't use that service anymore. So. Yeah, I agree with this. This is very well done. So so this is very good. Yeah, this gives us a little bit of sanity over which protocols we fetch from, right? So that's good. That's good. That is good. No, don't worry, man. I've been streaming on and off for a long time. So even if I do leak it, sometimes I just go and I invalidate it, right? So it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Okay, we have one more to do. Okay. This was not the AI ENV at all, so it's completely something different. That's why I'm saying it doesn't matter. It's just some MCP I was playing with, but I actually never incorporated it into my workflow. So all right, so that is good, I would say. That's good. What is this? Okay, this is UI, fine, but yeah, okay. All right, so yeah. All right, so yeah. Also, while we're at it, let's bump these two dependencies. Actually, in fact, let's do a little minor. Let's just bump because so let's just do this, because I'm sure it's not gonna be much. Okay, cool. I can share the music. Yes, please give me 2 seconds. Oof, yeah, I'm not sure about the type box. This is probably gonna break now. It's probably gonna break now. Yeah, I'm not very sure about this. Give me 1 second. I'm almost certain this is not gonna work. Let me restart my container. I mean, yeah, it kind of works. Let's see. That would be great if it does. Okay, good. It does, it seems. Ooh, okay. We didn't log this version. That's pretty bad. So let's do that. Sure, OpenAI, sitemap. Ooh, sitemap has been updated to major version. Okay, I actually need to check that. That is a bit of a risky merge. So let's actually take a look at that. We can't. Yeah, we can't just merge that. So let's see. So they bumped it to a major version. So there is some slight probability of some breaking changes. So so version 9 2 weeks ago. Breaking changes. Yeah, drop nodejs support. Drop support for a good. Okay, yes, me conversion with dual package support. Planner, hey buddy, good to see you, man. Okay, very good. So we're good. We're very good. Nothing to worry about there. Very good. Okay. Let's commit that. So the breaking changes they introduced don't matter us because our version of Node.js is I believe LTS long-term support one. So we're fine with that. Bloody formatting, okay. All right, so cool. All right, so what we're gonna do now, well, we're gonna attempt doing now at least, we'll try merging this big ass, insanely huge PR. So the lords and gods of programming have mercy on our soul. Okay, interesting. Oh my god, Cedric is here. Hey, buddy. What's up, my dude? Okay, let's see. I mean, let's see. We have some Gemini. article model. Okay, wow, that was actually useful, yes. What's up, Cedric, my friend? How are you? Yeah, man, for you, I always have the time, dude. Always, man. Always. Okay, wow. So sometimes the agents are actually useful in giving some useful PRs, useful comments on the PR. So that's very good. That is great. All right, cool. So hopefully now we can merge and hope for the best, because we've yeah, yeah, okay, let's give it a shot. We might break production, and that's fine. But I've added a lot of awesome tooling and also enhanced the our CI here. So let's see if the CI now is a little bit more like, yes, as you can see, we have install dependencies. Oh, multiple versions of npm specified. Okay, good to know. So I guess we have it specified in several places. Let's see. Build it. Okay, very good. That's we improved that CI a bit there. So that's what we really want. We want all of these things to format. Okay, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I see. I see. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough, fair enough. Sure, sure, sure. Okay, cool. Fair enough. Did we not commit this? No, we didn't. Okay, well, that's great. Let's commit that. And then try again. Yeah, we need to run the format again. So annoying. Maybe we should just make the Husky to do that for us, to always run the format, so we don't kind of waste time on it. Maybe it should always just do it for us, right? Yeah, exactly. Alright, cool. Try that again. Shit, we can't push now because we already, I guess, merged that, so that's gonna be weird. Yeah, crap. Thank you very much, guys, for your follows. Appreciate it. Okay, so that I pushed. Okay, very good. Okay. Oh, a bit tiring there. Yeah. Do you think that the notifications are a bit weird? Which ones, man? The Discord ones? Which ones? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, man. What is it now? So fuck. Yeah, but you need to, Cedric, you need to be a bit more specific. I don't know what it means. I don't understand what it means. Like, yeah, you need to be more specific. I don't know what you mean by weird. Maybe. By no means. I'm not defending it. I'm sure that there are many weird. Yeah, I don't know. You need to be a bit more like if you're referring to just standard notifications when somebody likes something or whatever, then maybe, I mean, you know, there's a potential that everything is weird, right? So yeah. Well, I mean, what we definitely don't do, we don't have a... When I built that notification system, I haven't built it so it kind of compounds multiple notifications at once and then sends them. So, for example, if I go now and like your comment, and then also leave a comment, you will get 2 emails, right? But do I think that they're weird? No, I think that our notification system is probably the simplest system that exists, and I think it's one of the most efficient ones that exist, right? So for sure, I mean, it's not ideal in a way, but I think it's a very good notification system. I mean, our notification system, and I built this very long ago, is incredibly simple. So, and maybe, you know, maybe what you're saying is that it's too simple, but this is literally the whole system, right? And I think when I designed it with Redis and Postgres, I think it made complete sense, and I think it still makes total sense. Now, what we could do better is we can say, well, when a user does something, don't send a notification instantly, wait, almost create a queue for each user. So if you do 3 combined actions in a span of a minute, then we shoot a single email versus, because as soon as I like this now, Marco is gonna get an email, right? And then if I leave the comment at the same time, he's gonna get this another notification, right? I don't know how other platforms do it though, right? Maybe other platforms do it differently, I have no idea. But yeah, but of course, as always, right, there's a room for improvement always, right? So there you go, right? That's the thing that you will work on. Perfect. You're basically taking responsibility. I like it. Definitely. Definitely. That's what I heard. I heard you, Cedric, say, yeah, Alex, I have a complaint, and then I'm gonna fix it as well. I love it. I love it. That's the spirit. That is the spirit. I love that. The way that you took initiative and said, yes, Alex, I have a complaint. I don't even know what it is, but I will make it better. Yeah, that is what leadership is. Panosa, there he is. Oh my god, a guy that hates my stream. Man, Panosa, actually you came to my mind a couple of days ago, just randomly. I just wondered, what's up with that guy? What's up with Panosa? Not only your stream, exactly. I mean, yeah, we had an opportunity to have some drinks together and etc. a few times when you were coming to Copenhagen. So it's kind of, yeah, I wish we did that. Yeah, but we didn't. I wish we did that. Alex, never. Anytime, man. Anytime. I mean it. I still work at the same place near the place that you're coming to visit. So 25 beers. I mean, I have a 3-month-old baby now and an older son. So after 1 beer, I would probably pass out. After 25, I would probably be dead. But we can try. We push until the ambulance comes. So yeah, they not kicked out yet, believe it or not. And he said it. Cedric said it. Healthcare is free in Denmark. Of course, like when Danish people, let me tell you one thing. When Danish and Swedish people say to you or in a EU parliament exactly that things are free, there's just a tiny bit of detail there. We just pay 40% plus tax. So yes, if you don't share that detail, then everything here is free. It's like, yeah, free healthcare. Yeah, of course we take half of your salary every month as the government, because we are government. But besides that little detail, it's free, right? Stop complaining. I will. Okay. Free. Right. Yes. I mean, why? Details are not relevant. Just say it's free. Right. Ah, I see, Rebecca. Well, okay, then we don't have that here, yeah. Yeah, actually, hopefully, I mean, the merge is done. Let's just hope that it's gonna deploy today, right? So we're so far in the CI process, we're good. So let's see, because we did massively cache our Docker file, but we changed too many layers in this specific PR, so it has to rebuild pretty much everything. It's not using the cache much. And then what is the last step? Is actually the deployment, right? Good, Panosa, good, man. Just, yeah, as I said, we have a 3-month-old baby. That's a novelty, you could say. I kind of, as you can see, came back to streaming a little bit every now and then. So that's it, man. Not much, to be honest. Same stuff. Had a company dinner last night, so went there. Been to Lisbon a week or two ago, also with the company. We booked a hotel there and stuff like that. So more or less that, my dude. Not much more. And I guess I can ask you the same. How is your company? Is that still going on? Etc. etc. Yeah, Ole has left, but this has happened already several months ago, so this happened like 5 months ago. We have another CTO, James, amazing guy. We are in good hands. Of course, it's always hard, but it's always hard, but okay, good. The production is working. Is it actually working? Let's see if I messed some stuff up. Yeah. Fuck, man. This is probably related to these stupid embeddings. Again, I would say so. Yeah. Oh, fuck, dude. hopefully, I hope you don't burn out, man. I hope you don't burn out. But I mean, it seems that you're fine. As you know, I read 2 big customers, so that's a positive of it, right? Ah, got it, got it. Hey GoTech, thank you very much for leaving a message, man. That's awesome. Not everybody does that, so thank you for tuning in, man. That's pretty cool. Okay, so there's some. So recently I've optimized the Docker file, just for faster builds. Of course, that's what we mean when we say optimized. But also lately, I've been dealing with these stag embeddings being incredibly annoying. And at this point in time, I'm starting to assume that this file has grown large enough to start causing issues. Oh, dude, that's insane. That is insane. Yeah, this file is like 6 megabytes. And this is a critical error. I cannot have this. I cannot have this crap, man. Where am I using this text classifier? I'm gonna nuke this already. Taught service text classifier. How did I write this? Let me see. Looking at this now and how I wrote this, probably very long ago, I don't have many regrets. I think this is clean and nice. But yeah, this is really bad. I mean, I'm not happy with this. We cannot have thoughts broken. This is unacceptable. This is absolutely unacceptable. And worst of all, like, we need to get back to our Prometheus and Grafana, because now I don't have the logs. So even though I see that this is failing, some logs would be useful here to know why, because I can see that we actually do call the completions here, and this stuff succeeds. But then there was an error while creating a thought, but that's a fucking useless error, man. Like, why am I doing that? Jesus Christ. Then we, yeah, so we roll back the transaction. So at some point in time, somewhere we fail. And it would actually be nice to know why. So there's some sort of all right, so let me, so yeah, so the thoughts are broken for now, and that's fine. Let's just push this. Let's see if we can get some logs there. Try to get to understand the error. I mean, I can of course fix this now by either removing the embeddings or something like that, but that's not the way. So I want to actually, so we'll need to do some low-key and some file-based logging again. Because yeah, it's a bit irritating now, right? We cannot have this crap not working. We just can't. We just can't, actually. All right, so let's wait with that, and let's go with that, and then let's because when I wrote this classifier, I don't know if I used the AI or not. Let's review my classifier and ensure that my assumptions about the size of the embeddings in the file are not wrong. Whatsoever. Lately there is an issue creating a thought in production, and I believe it's related to this classifier. Oh, actually, fuck, that's good. It also fails locally. So actually, that's very good. Let's see why. Ah, come on, dude. Jesus Christ, man. What? Oh shit, man. Okay, what? What? Really? User ID? Oh man, that's really bad. Okay. Wait a minute. I mean, I know what the issue is. It's just that's not good. No, it's not. It's just I have removed the user ID field that's actually not needed. But now we're getting like, that makes no sense. Why and where is it failing with? Wait a minute, sorry. I need to, this is very important here. Why is that failing considering we removed give me 1 second, I'll just focus for a moment here, please. The user ID. No, I was just cleaning up last night some old like tables and stuff like that, so we have dropped the user ID field from a database from Tot that was actually not used. But now when I try to create a Tot, even though the migration file has ran, you can see. So where is it failing? Which user ID? Does some junction table has an ID or something like that? I'm actually not sure, but either way it's really weird. Let's take a look at that, because I did not expect this. We have author ID that we use. We never use the user ID. No, Tot table does not have user ID, and you can confirm that by running an MCP server. So shut up. Yeah, I don't know, it's super weird. Like, but either way, when I look at the error, so it seems that I just forgot during this. Let's see. At least AI is very helpful in this case. Wait. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, let's try that. I think that should fix it. Because implicitly it was stable and then the ID combination that probably the library itself does implicitly. So I think we just need to explicitly say here. Yeah, exactly, right? Yep. Yep. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's see if that actually fixes it or not. I'm absolutely not sure. Wait, probably the API is still not running. Nah, fuck. Ah, come on, dude. Come on. So annoying, man. So annoying. I didn't expect this. Should have been more careful there. Ah, dude. Come on. Come on, man. Hey Ado, give me 2 seconds, man. Just need to fix this very quickly, and then we can chat. Very happy to chat. I don't think that's the case, but no. I think AI is kind of hallucinating here a little bit, which is okay, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. Or maybe crap. Hmm. Okay, now it works. Jesus Christ. Okay. Interesting. Or does it work? Jesus Christ. Yeah, shouldn't have done that. That migration was a dumb move. Yeah, that was unnecessary, but it's okay. We'll fix it. It's just not something I really enjoy wasting my time with. Yeah, so this is the problem now, right? If you check the records using MCP, Now author ID is no longer inserted during creation inside creator. Let's actually take a look at that code on our own. So where is it? The service create thought. Okay, let's see. We have a logged in user. We classify the text. And then we do give it an author ID, which is weird, right? So why is it not actually picking it up? Because we do give it here. So it's probably something more when it comes to sequelize and these aliases and stuff like that. Why did you choose sequelize? Give me 1 second. I mean, you can ask that question about any other way, right? You can ask the same. Why did you choose Prisma and not sequelize, right? So, but I just used this more than 10 years ago, and I've used it before. And when I started this project, essentially, I just used what I was used to pretty much. So that's it. No grand reasoning besides this thing has been out way more than Prisma, so that's kind of the only thing, honestly. Yeah, I don't even know actually if that Prisma thing has been around when I started this project. I don't think so. Okay, now it works, but I need to understand why, and that frustrates me a bit. Frustrates me a bit, I must admit. Why does this work? Let me just remind myself. But yeah, this fixes it, and that's okay. I just want to understand. I don't remember. Let me just see. Oh yeah, okay. So this is the configuration I set up long ago. I remember. Yep. Fair enough. I just thought that on this level of associations we were still using underscores, but actually when I look at my other things, right, it doesn't seem so. So I think it's okay. Let's commit this stuff. So good. I'm happy still that I removed that useless field that was in fact not used. So that's good. It's just yeah, good to know why this actually worked, right? Okay, cool. Let's deploy that. My ID is running again. Yes, nice. So let's actually now, when this is deployed, we'll just ensure that things properly work again in production. And then maybe we can kind of challenge the notification system that Cedric is talking about. Because I've never done that. I never gave it to the AI. So let's actually maybe do that thing next. So this is the notification system that I invented and written from scratch. It doesn't really confine, I guess, to any known, let's say, system design pattern. Essentially, it's a simple system where I store a certain metadata, like data that then gets translated into human readable objects. The key is Redis. Let's review what we have and see what you think and if you have any suggestions for improvements. Let's see. It's literally like giving it to another human being and saying, what do you think? Because basically it's a very simple concept. It uses event emitter, and incredibly simple, I would say. So let's see what the AI thinks about it. Your JSON-B approach, storing only IDs, actor ID, article ID, thought ID, etc., and resolving them later via Redis is smart. It keeps the notifications table lean and allows you to update user article data without touching all notifications. Deduplication layer. The notification tracker table with 21-hour window is solid for preventing notification spam. It tracks actor plus resource plus type, which handles most edge cases. Using event emitter creates clean separation between notification creation and delivery. The notify method emitting to listeners is a good pattern. Multi-channel delivery, supporting email, push, and in-app with user preferences is comprehensive. Transaction safety, proper transaction handling with rollbacks on errors. Okay, wow. Alex, great. Redis a single point of failure. Okay, if Redis is down, get notification actors will fail. Consider fallback to database queries if cache miss. GDT, good evening, friend. Graceful or good day. Graceful degradation, store notifications, resolve later. Find or create raise condition. The where clause with JSON-B metadata isn't ideal. Multiple identical notifications could be created simultaneously. Consider adding a unique constraint or using upsort with a composite key. No retry mechanism. Failed email push notifications are lost. Consider queue system. You have bull MQ. Yeah, I mean, this I planned long ago, right? So I had plans for this. I just didn't want to introduce it in version 1. Yeah, design improvements, notification aggregation, and this is kind of what you spoke about, Cedric, right? Maybe, or what I spoke about. You can't show John and 5 others liked your article. Consider add to notification tracker, batch processing. Yeah, exactly. Sending notifications one by one in a loop is inefficient. Consider promise all settled or background jobs. Self notification check inconsistency only. Notify comment and no check there. This could be centralized by notify. Overall, it's a solid system that works. The metadata approach is clever, and the deduplication logic is well thought out. Main improvements would be around reliability, queue-based delivery, retries, and scalability, batching, aggregation, etc. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's very well observed, you could say. Okay, I don't know if I want to do this now. Okay, let's first see if we have fixed production stuff. Okay, we have. Okay, good. So that's really good. Thank you guys for signing up. We have 3 new people this stream. Very good. Mads, Danley, and Prajval. Thank you for signing up. I appreciate that. Give you guys some follows. Shit. Awesome. Actually, I think no, I'm not. You're absolutely right, Penosa. And I am a lazy bastard. No, I literally have this on my tablet for today because the thing is, yeah. So the thing is, actually, thank you for the reminder. I literally know what I wanted to do. So let me tell you what I did. So Penosa, long ago when you were part of the stream more often, I built this validation library called useAJVform, if you remember. And what I actually did recently, I dropped my own library for React form. So I've kind of updated every single form from my own library to this, and I'm very happy. That means that this this form now works a little bit different, and I think that's actually what I wanted to do, because by default, if I recall, let me find this custom hook. I suppose we have a custom hook somewhere. I hope so, at least. Give me a second. So anyway, there's this on like how do you want the form to react. Am I actually using that here at all? Handle create error. No, man, please do. But where's the error? Error is here. And what yields this error? Where is this error coming from? Yeah, exactly, right? And then we have the error here. Yes, good. Okay, so here it is, right? So here's the form state. And then the mode, I believe, is on blur, right? So what I actually want to do, probably if we just switch this to on submit, that's when we want to validate. So in simple words, this guy, yeah, but why are you not working? Because content should be, you know, fuck that, man. And this is my assumption, at least, like. So why does this... this is kind of my understanding. So now, yeah, why does it try to validate as soon as I... What the hell is should validate? Where is this coming from? Oh, okay. Maybe that's it. Oh, okay. No, but that's not gonna work. Yeah, shit. So I guess... Alright, I don't know. So let's ask someone that's actually smart here. How do we ensure that... No, but yeah, it's the nature. That's the problem. It's the nature of my tip tab that's kind of problematic here, right? Is that these... yeah... No. So the issue here is the way that I designed the tip tap, right? So I think it has nothing to do with this library per se, right? We're a friend, yeah. We're friends, but he's also toxic, yeah. So you could kind of say it's a toxic relationship. So... Totally toxic and friendly, exactly. So yeah, so you can see when I designed this tip tap abstraction, yeah, but sorry, yeah, Panosa thinks well. He's just he's just a bit crazy. I think, give me a second. So it's a bit weird. Let me just think. So we have a use callback here. We have set value, which comes from the actual from this use form thing. This third-party library should validate. Yeah, basically, I guess on every key press it validates, which sucks ass, right? So that is for sure something we don't want here, because that's why this error kind of jumps in your face, right? The core thing now is that because of my own component, these buttons are not shown. Yeah. But I think also what Panosa said is that you see now when we post it, so when this essentially is submitted, we should somehow give me 1 second. Yeah, so you see, so when we reset the content, right? We then call the blur again or whatever, so that is the problem. So you can see this is in fact correct, you could say, and then we call this native reset. I do, that's what we do here, Penosa. We're doing that, you can see, right? So we do the reset, which is the function that this form exposes, and then I call basically the editor's current set content thing, right? Which sets the editor content to empty. But that the problem is because it does that, then we're back. So we would need to set it back to something that's not necessarily empty, but dirty or whatever. So if I go, because luckily I do control the tip tab here. No, I mean, they're not connected, right? This reset resets the state of the form itself, like that's you're correct. And then this is calling my editor state, like the actual visual state. So we are resetting that state, right? I mean, technically, when I press this green thing now, right, what do we want to happen? Well, we want to create this, and then we want to remove this from the actual. So I wonder, I mean, I have an idea. I have an idea what we can do. So we have this use imperative handle. So here, essentially, we can expose a prop. We can also do clear content. Let's try that. Let's say, instead of that, let's say clear content. And then maybe this is better, right? So if I now do this. Yeah, but why? Why are you then? That makes no fucking sense, man. Why are you yielding the error? What's your favorite programming language? Go and JavaScript. I am also thinking the same, and I'm also thinking the same here because we're in development, right? I don't know. I literally had the same thought. Literally had the same thought. I was just thinking, I was thinking, is it some sort of re-rendering that when we do this, it submits again or whatever, but it doesn't seem so, no. No, it's not. I'll just try one crazy. You need to define what best means. Okay, let's give it to the AI. I don't know. Every time we submit a form, the form is reset, tip tap state is cleared, but then we for some reason revalidate or something, and then the error is shown. Oh yeah, actually that is true, right? Yeah, exactly, right? Okay, let's actually, I have a hypothesis here based on this, right? No, but that's not gonna work, so no, that's not going to work, what it suggests. No, that's not going to work, but give me 1 second. Yeah, I might have an idea here. What AI is saying is not actually correct. Bounty, my friend, good evening. No, well, I mean, I know what the problem is. The problem is that on editor state change is going to always be called even when... so basically you could say that in here somewhere we could fix it within the library itself that we wrote, right? So somewhere over here, so there's this on-transaction thing that actually is what, there's also on update, right? Yeah. So yeah, I know actually, yeah. So we would need to ensure that that editor state change doesn't get called when things get cleared out. So essentially, yeah. No. So listen, Penosa. I would say that the problem is very much also what AI has suggested, right? When we clear the let's also do this. So you can see if we don't call this Penosa, right? If we comment out clear content, our editor is gonna submit, great, but the content is gonna remain in there, right? So that's why we need to clear it. But when we clear it, naturally, obviously, that thing is gonna call on editor state change. Editor state change is gonna set the content to nothing, and then we're back to showing the error saying, hey, well, right? So that is the problem. So in simple words, right? I think if we are to visualize the problem, it's basically, so that is the annoying part. We essentially type something, we trigger the state changed, right? So editor now shows that. We post, it's created, we clear the input, but then that triggers the state change again, right? This guy here. Yeah, fuck the tool, but right? So it's kind of circular thing. So we need to do something so yeah. Exactly. So here, I guess, maybe the set value has something potentially that can help us here. So maybe we can say should validate. Maybe it should validate. Maybe we could do, yeah, interesting. Wait, let me think of it. I might have an idea. All right, bear with me. So let's, okay, I might have an idea, wait. Const should validate. Yeah, exactly. It's not quite exactly that what I meant, but let's see. No, okay, no, content like, sure. I have an idea. Yes, exactly. Yep. Shit. Yeah, but I would not expect it to. Yeah, fuck it. It has to revalidate. Ayan Suid, I have no idea what you mean, my friend. Have zero idea what you asked. I'm sorry. Okay, this is not gonna work. Fuck, man. I don't know how to fix this now, honestly. The only actually way I can think of this is that, like, how do we even fix this? How do we avoid this error? Because, I mean, technically this is not wrong, right? And maybe something like on submit. So that's at least what I thought. Hey, validate. So the actually, yeah. So I have no idea what that means, man. What website? What are you talking about? Does we need scrape data for website using? I have no idea what you're asking. Dude. What website? What are we talking about? What data? What data are you talking about, man? No. Well, I mean, I'm not doing this, Penosa, because you said it. I've seen this. I have seen this myself as well, right? So this is very irritating for me as well. So you just reminded me because I have it written down already. So no. It's no. I mean, this is very annoying. The only way I can fix this with our current component, right, is to change the tip tab. Because when I designed this whole system, I essentially, as you can see, we have tip tab actions which are shown conditionally. And the only way I see this working is to, I don't know, like you can see now that, so yeah. That is the only way. I mean, I don't see this being fixed in any other way. So the solution is that I have a prop that they're always visible. And then when you submit, we validate on submission, not on key press. So you submit and we say, oh, that's too short. You know, try something else. So that is the only way, only way I can think about it right now, that where it actually works with that other library. They are outside. Yeah. That's exactly. They are. Yes. I've just built so many of these things. I just have to I can't remember everything. That's just impossible. I'm just now checking out why are they being hidden at all. Like, I don't remember how I've done this. Because I don't remember at all that I was hiding these buttons. Because you can see that they're... No, I remember, I remember my reasoning behind it, but I don't remember. You can see that we're saying here actions, show the tip tab actions based on blah, blah, blah. So, oh, I see what's happening. So here, no, never mind, all good. Yeah, this is the key, right? this is the key. So this is what I did, when was it, like a year or two ago. If editor is empty, don't show the, you see, they're kind of just conditionally, well, now we're not triggering anything, but that is the key, right? So if the editor is empty, so let's kind of do this a little bit differently, right? So first and foremost, let's not do this number one, like at least not like this. Ninja Crusader, thank you very much, man, for the follow. So number one, let's do that. So we get to this state here at least, right? So now, technically, if I do this, you see now we are like back to... Okay, so let's see if this is gonna even make sense. So if we get back over here, yeah, back over here, I don't know what the default for this is, but either way. So you see, now you could say it's, I mean, technically correct, right? But we kind of always show these buttons, which sucks. And it actually now, because we're not revalidating, it actually never gets to the point of becoming green, which means we would now have to correlate the validation and stuff like that. So actually, wait a minute. So I can see I have some bluer. Yeah, I don't know. I would need to spend, I guess, a bit more time, because this seems to be a systematic issue here. I guess, yeah, this is a bit systematic issue here. Well, I mean, one thing for sure is that we should do here is expose a prop, show actions. So that is certainly true. And that's what I'm gonna do, at least for now. So that is for sure one of the things that. And by default, yeah, because of the, let's say, history, let's say by false, and then we do this, right? So just for historical reasons. Now, of course, if I go back to here, right, I could say show actions true. So at least that should be filled using the prop, not being hard coded inside here, right? And then let's see if is editor empty. Okay, so sure, you could say these classes, these states do make sense, because I decided, hey, you know, make this button green or whatever. So that is definitely a change worth making. Now the harder question is that when we clear the editor state, should we prevent the tip tap of emitting that event? So if I go back here and set this to true and set this on blur, like drink water, thank you. All right, that's what I really want. So I want to be able to override that, right? So yeah. Okay. Let's move away from that. Let's move away from that. I think I'm kind of fine with that now. Did we actually make any changes? No. Give me 1 second. Ah shit, this has a bunch of... Okay. Alrighty. Let's go back to programmer network here. That's a good one. Actually helping out. Yeah. That is a nice one. Okay, let's it's classical Cedric. He could have probably helped with something instead of spending time on creating a meme picture. Give me 1 second, my wife... Focusing on the right things, exactly. Very good. Okay, we fixed that one. I kind of wish that we have fixed this one as well, but it doesn't actually matter, I guess. All right, good, good. Okay, yeah. This issue just triggered me a bit, so it's good. I want to fix it as well, so I know what Panosa is saying. So he just kind of triggered me there a bit. Okay, view all handle event click. So let's see what the hell is happening with this. Matus, hey buddy, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Let's see what happened, by the way, with this thing. There's something very weird happening here. Wait a minute. Handle event click. Handle event click on event. What? Event URL. Okay, wow. Events. No. Thank you, man. I think, by the way, I'm sorry. I think I introduced a regression there. I think I most likely introduced a regression here, some sort of regression. Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, you see, I mean, it's my fault. Trusted that AI a bit too much, right? But it's okay. No, that's not the one. No, that's, I'm looking at the wrong thing, I think. This is not the endpoint that we should be looking at, I think. Get meetup cover photo. No, get upcoming events. Yeah, it's this one. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. To be honest, yeah, not super happy with this. I mean, this was kind of a quick one to say, but yeah, I'm not. I mean, yeah, the utility is fine. The repository, you might say, but yeah. And the biggest problem I would say is that... Thank you guys for your follows, appreciate it. The biggest problem is that you can see here, for example, we're not... So this is the meetup, so we don't have, we're not doing a left join on the meetup all over the place. So so yeah, that is a tough thing about this, right? Is that, yeah, we can't really do it this way. That is a sad part. Okay, let's kind of undo this for a moment. And I'm gonna kind of, yeah, we'll see. I need to then go back to the scrap here. Yeah. So something like that, I suppose, right? And also, fuck this manual typecasting. I hate it deeply from my heart. Should ban it from TypeScript completely. Now, yeah, so we do include a meetup here, which fundamentally means that this thing and this thing here, yeah, I mean, yeah, we would need to either extend this type here and say end event URL or something like that. No, actually, no, not at all, not at all. I think this guy is event meetup. Yeah, I see. Okay. Oh, okay. Sure. Then I suppose meetup event. I mean, I'm just gonna attempt that, but how can we now type this as in like, hey, you know, that is the hard part about this, right? Yeah, sure. Okay, let's give this to AI. It can read this 17 billion stack lines maybe easier than us. Event date. And yeah, the URL now is in fact there, so technically, yeah, we should be able to fix it. So if we go back over here, exactly. Ah, shit, man. Okay, never mind. All right. Why do we have to type this like this? Because we did include that there. So what the fuck are you talking? Date is not assignable to string. The property date and time are incompatible. The date is not assignable to type string. What? I meetup event. Oh, I see. I see. So there's a discrepancy between the schema and model types. Always painful stuff. All right. Yeah, that's the problem. How does one... Yeah, so it is a timestamp with date with time zone. I love you, man. Thank you, Panosa, for coming. I'm gonna head off soon as well. Thank you very much, man, for coming. As always, very much appreciated, man. Alright, so well, we fixed it now, so it's fine. Just a bit annoying. Okay, let's kind of format that. Gonna leave a note there. Get rid of that. Alrighty, fellas. Let's see if there's any questions or anything like that. Otherwise, I'm gonna go and call it a day. Maybe if I have the time later to stream again in the evening, if I have the time, I might show up. But let's see if there's anyone that needs any help. I'm very happy to share my opinion. Otherwise, let's round it up. When are you setting up the Christmas tree? When my wife and kid decide, pretty much, I would say. More or less, yes. Not in my power, and I don't want it in my power, if you know what I mean. So when they decide, I just react to it. Yeah. Not super keen on that, let's just put it that way. How do I avoid an AWS US East outage causing control plane problems for their past services? How do I avoid AWS outage? I mean, you don't avoid it, right? You either have some strategy, which is almost impossible, where you have like you do cross-cloud or cross-infra stuff. But the question, how do I avoid an AWS East outages? You cannot avoid something that's inevitably going to happen, right? You can only mitigate it or have some strategy to you know, I mean, that's all. That's what redundancy is about. Is like trying to either find a host that has a high uptime, which AWS has. So I don't think you can avoid that. I mean, sooner or later your services are going to go down, and that's inevitable, right? No matter where you host them, sooner or later things will fail, and I don't think you can avoid that. The question just is, do you have resources to, to have some designated server or something that can pick up if something else fails? But that is incredibly hard, very expensive, and unnecessary, right? Yeah, so yeah, but I don't think you can avoid things going down ever. Nobody has 100% uptime ever, so that's just not possible, and also not what customers expect, right? Even in your contracts, when you're selling software, there is a place where it says something about uptime, right? So you can't contractually right? Max, hey buddy. So yeah, there's no such thing as 100% uptime, and hopefully you're not promising that in your contract, because you're gonna get sued and you're gonna fail, because such thing doesn't exist. So it's more, it's in these very rare occasions when things go down, it really boils down to how you communicate it to your customers and stuff like that, rather than anything else. So yeah. All right, friends, what can I say? Let's round up, and we might we might see each other later if I have the time, maybe in the evening. I'm not sure what I'm gonna be doing with my wife and kids, but in case I'm around and free, I'll probably hit the stream button again. So until then, thank you very much for being here, and yeah, I might see you later on. Peace out, everybody. Bye bye. Rebecca, have a good one. Cheers. Bye bye.